Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology, and today I am going to cover one more topic, that is understanding the significance of the Gayatri Mantra in Vedic astrology. Om Guru Bruhaspataye Namah. So let us first quickly understand the story behind the origin of the Gayatri Mantra. So many years ago, there lived a powerful sage called Vashishta, who was a Brahma Rishi with his wife Arundhati in an ashram in a jungle. Rishi Vashishta is the same Rishi who was the guru of Lord Ram. Okay, and this story had occurred several years before Ram was born. Rishi Vashisht had a divine cow called Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu was actually a divine goddess who lived with Vashisht in the form of a cow, and this goddess blessed Vashisht with whatever he wanted. So at that time there was a king called Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was a very powerful king and he had conquered thousands of kingdoms. Okay, one day he went into the forest with his army for hunting, and he was very tired, and he came to the ashram of Rishi Vashisht. The king with his army and sons bowed before Rishi Vashisht, as was the culture in those times. So a spiritual person was highly regarded and Vashisht was a Brahma Rishi. So Vishwamitra had great respect for him and he bowed before Vashisht. Rishi Vashisht told Vishwamitra that you must be very tired. So take some rest in our ashram for some time, and I will also arrange for some food for you and your army, and then you can go away. But Vishwamitra actually did not want to stay there. He said that I have a very big army. How will you feed such a big army? Rishi Vashisht said, don't worry about that. You just stay here. And Rishi Vashisht then got up and went inside. And he whispered something in the ears of the divine cow Kamadhenu. And within minutes, the cow Kamadhenu produced thousands of dishes, which was enough to serve the entire army of the king. Now King Vishwamitra was very much surprised as to how in such a short time Vashisht could arrange for such tasty food, and that to serve the entire army. So he asked Rishi Vashisht, and Rishi Vashisht told him that it is my divine cow Kamdenu who is able to give me any wish that I want. Now Vishwamitra's mind was filled with greed. He thought that I am the king, so this cow should actually belong to me. What is it doing in Vashisht ashram? So he asked Vashisht to give him the cow. But Vashisht told Vishwamitra that this is actually a divine goddess and she is not for sale, and she is staying in my ashram due to her own will. She likes this ambience where Brahma Vidya is taught, and she will not get the same ambience in your kingdom. So I suggest you do not take her with you. But Vishwamitra was very adamant. Vishwamitra then forcefully tried to snatch the cow from Rishi Vashisht. Now in this picture you can see King Vishwamitra forcefully trying to snatch the cow Kamdenu from Rishi Vashisht. Rishi Vashisht tries to stop him, but the king is very adamant and wants to take away the cow. So now a battle ensues between Vishwamitra and his army and Rishi Vashisht. Rishi Vashisht is alone, and Vishwamitra says, my whole army will attack you and at any cost we will take away the cow. Vishwamitra and his army throw different types of weapons at Vashisht. However, Vashisht has a stick called as the Brahmadand. It is the stick on which he does japa. Okay? And this stick is so powerful that whatever weapons are thrown at Vashisht, they are automatically absorbed by the stick. And Vishwamitra's whole army is destroyed simply by raising this stick. So Vishwamitra is now spellbound that I am such a powerful king. I have the knowledge of all the weapons in the world, and all these weapons have failed before. A single stick which Vasisht is holding. So, what is this power that Vasisht has that is so powerful that it is able to defeat all the weapons, all the knowledge that I have? What is it? Vishwamitra had so much ego that he then decided that I should become as powerful as Rishi Vasisht. And Rishi Vasisht is a Brahma Rishi, which means that I should also become a Brahma Rishi. With this intention in mind, Vishwamitra then decides to give up his kingdom. He gives up his kingdom to his children and goes deep into the forest and starts meditating on Lord Brahma. Vishwamitra thus continues meditating on Lord Brahma, and thousands of years pass by. Now there is some change in Vishwamitra's behavior. Okay, but still he is not able to overcome the ego, the pride and the anger. So there is still some residual anger, residual ego and hatred towards Vasisht within him. After a long period of meditation, Brahma appears before him and Vishwamitra tells him that I want to be a Brahma Rishi. But Brahma says, you have still not reached that level. I bless you that you are now a Raja Rishi. The term Raja Rishi is actually used to refer to a king, okay, who has left his kingdom and gone to the forest and meditated for several years and gained some knowledge about God. Okay, so Vishwamitra is now at the level of a Raj Rishi. He continues meditating for many more years and he says, I will not give up till I become a Brahma Rishi. Now in Ayodhya, there was a king called Trishanku, and Trishanku had an intense desire that he should reach heaven alive. So Trishanku goes and approaches Vasishta, who is their Kul Guru. But Vasishta says, this is against the laws of nature. So then Trishanku goes and approaches the sons of Vasishta, and they get very angry with him and they curse him. And Trishanku becomes very ugly to look at. Depressed Trishanku then leaves his kingdom of Ayodhya and goes into the forest, and somehow there he meets Vishwamitra. When Vishwamitra hears his story, Vishwamitra accepts Trishanku as his friend and tells him that I also don't like Vasisht. So I will see to it that you reach heaven while you are alive, that is in this body itself. And he chants some mantras by which Trishanku starts rising up in the sky and he starts moving towards heaven. Now the god of heavens, Indra, comes and stops Trishanku and he says, this is against the law of nature. Only once a person dies can he reach heaven. But Vishwamitra says, I have done a lot of austerities and I have enough power and I will see to it that Trishanku goes into heaven. Indra says, I will not allow that. By his powers, Vishwamitra creates a separate heaven, and thus this Swarg is called as Trishanku Swarg. Indra is now alarmed that when Vishwamitra is a Rajarishi, he has so much power that he has created a separate heaven. So Indra says that I must see to it that Vishwamitra never becomes a Brahma Rishi. And so he decides to distract Vishwamitra from the path of penance. He sends an Apsara called Menaka to distract Vishwamitra's penance. Vishwamitra gets attracted to Menaka because he has still not conquered his mind completely. For many years, Vishwamitra spends his time in romancing with Menaka, and one day some realization dawns him that what am I doing? What had I set out to be? And what am I engaging in? He then moves away from Menaka and he continues doing his tapasya. He does a lot of tapasya, and this time Brahma appears before him. And again Vishwamitra says, please bless me to be a Brahma Rishi. But Brahma now says, you are still not capable of being a Brahma Rishi because you still have hatred towards Vasishta. You can become a Brahma Rishi only by the blessings of another Brahma Rishi. So go to Vasishta, ask for his forgiveness and remove all hatred from your heart towards him. Only then will you attain the level of a Brahma Rishi. Vishwamitra is still not ready to give up. He says, I will continue my meditation and I will completely control my mind. And so he continues meditating. So after thousands of years of meditation, Vishwamitra finally gains complete control on his mind, and all his hatred is almost destroyed. There is just a very small tinge of hatred left for Vashisht, but that is also at a very small level. So, as Brahma suggested, Vishwamitra now thinks, I should go and ask Vashisht for forgiveness. So, he goes towards Vashisht ashram, and just as he is about to enter the ashram, he hears a conversation between Rishi Vashisht and his wife Arundhati. And Rishi Vashisht tells his wife Arundhati that I have been tracking Vishwamitra's progress journey towards that of becoming a Brahma Rishi, and I have always been supporting him. I wish he overcomes his ego, his anger, his hatred, and eventually becomes a Brahma Rishi. When Vishwamitra hears this, his heart is filled with regret, and he simply falls at the feet of Vashisht. And when he touches the feet of Rishi Vashisht, a kind of current flows through his head, and at that very moment, he becomes God realized, and he is pronounced as a Brahma Rishi by Lord Brahma. Thus, Vishwamitra had gained the knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, that is, the Supreme Being. And this happens only when all the negative qualities such as anger, ego, hatred, lust are completely destroyed in a person. And from Vishwamitra's heart originated a mantra, and that mantra is known as the Gayatri Mantra. This is a mantra which frees you from all material bondage. Okay? It removes all obstacles in your path and ensures that your spiritual progress is complete. The goddess of this mantra is a five-faced goddess called Gayatri. As you can see in this picture, the goddess has 5 faces. Okay? And she is the origin of all knowledge. She is a form of Saraswati herself. Okay? And what is this mantra exactly? Let us understand its meaning now. Now, the Gayatri mantra is as follows: Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Now, what is Om? Om is the divine sound that permeates the universe. Okay? Bhur, Bhuva and Swaha. Bhur is nothing but our earth. Okay? And what is Bhuva? Bhuva is the loka of the Pitras or the mains. And Swaha is nothing but Swarga or heaven. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Savitur is the name of the sun god. Okay? And the sun's light illuminates all these 3 worlds. So, Tat means that, Savitur means the illuminating sun, Varenyam is one who is adorable or capable of being given worship. Okay, so what this phrase means is, we adore the sun god who illuminates all these 3 worlds. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo means to destroy the sins. Okay, so what this means is, may his light illuminate our intellect and destroy all our sins. Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat means I bow to the sun god. This is a very divine mantra, and if you chant this 108 times daily, okay, over a period it will destroy all the obstacles in your path. It will give you extreme success in life. Okay, and it will make sure that your spiritual progress is ensured. This is a mantra which, if you chant properly, can also grant you liberation or moksha at the end of your natural life. Now, what is the best time to chant this mantra? Okay, the best time to chant this mantra is just when the sun is about to rise or when the sun is about to set. Because at this time the environment is very peaceful. Okay, so if you see during sunrise the environment is very calm. During sunset also the environment is very calm. Okay, and it is in this period that you can focus your mind completely on God. Mantra is something that comes from your heart, okay, and which, when practiced and repeated continuously, gives you a lot of powers. So, a person who repeats the Gayatri Mantra 108 times daily at a specific time, okay, he will definitely attain a lot of powers, a lot of name, lot of fame, and lot of success in life. So, this is the significance of the Gayatri Mantra in the sense that it takes you closer to God, it takes you closer to liberation. So friends, if you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. You can subscribe to my channel Kamath Astrology by clicking the subscribe button if you have not done so. So that when we add a new video, you are automatically notified. For any queries, email me at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com and I'll be glad to assist you. You can also visit our website astroseva.tripod.com. So friends, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon shortly with another video. Till then, bye. Take care.